Rimuru and Ciel were defeated and cast to the end of the world. In the latest volumes of Tensura, insane wars are unfolding, with several conflicts shaking the world and all the characters, especially the final villains, who are no joke. And here in the volume 21, during a battle against Feldway, Rimuru was thrown to the end of the world, where all his friends, companions and subordinates are dead, and nothing else remains. But with Ciel by his side and his immense power, after an intense scene and a moment between the two of them, they return to save everyone in the world in a triumphant and incredible way, which is what I'm going to tell you about today. After all, I love Tensura and I'm committed to bring the best videos I can for my viewers, so don't waste time and join the great community to get the best of the otaku world. It all started with a fight between Rimuru and Milen. Basically, Feldway, who is the main enemy Rimuru is facing right now, began controlling Milen, causing her and Rimuru to start fighting. And while Rimuru was deeply engaged in his battle against Milen, Feldway interrupted the fight and caught Rimuru by surprise. Here, Feldway used a space-time transfer to send Rimuru to the end of time. This technique is called chronosaltation, where you use the power of time stop and multiply it upon itself. In doing so, you can block the flow of time and then unleash the entire flow onto a single person. The stronger the flow is, the stronger the repulsion is, and in this way, the farther your target will be sent across the space-time. And Feldway, having caught Rimuru off guard, sent him to the end of time in space. And Feldway did this because at this point, Rimuru had become an existence that could no longer be ignored, as he had transcended into someone even more powerful than Feldway himself, with the potential to free Milen from his control. And with that explained, Rimuru opened his eyes and saw a light in the middle of nothingness. He woke up confused, but when Ciel spoke to him, it gave him relief, as it meant he was still alive if Ciel was there. And as I explained earlier, Ciel would clarify where they were and how this happened. Here, Rimuru doesn't know where he is. This vast, colorless space made no sense to him. No time passed in this place, yet he couldn't perceive the extent of the space even using his abilities. This is the place where the flow of time has stopped, where space has ended. It is a void where, according to the law of entropy, nothing exists here but Rimuru. When Ciel explained this, Rimuru asks if she has seen this place before, and she responds that she has. During Feldway's chronosaltation, they were transported to the outermost limits of space-time, where the stars had long since died, but the universe had not yet collapsed. After that, Ciel wandered through the universe, witnessing the end of the world in a cosmos where no stars shine. This happened because after Feldway sent them to the ends of space-time, Rimuru remained asleep for billions of years, for eons, while Ciel stayed awake and watching as the world, space and time came to an end. And yes, Rimuru slept for billions of years, for eons, and Ciel spent all the time waiting for him. At first, Rimuru thought she was lying, but then he remembered that Ciel never lies, and realized that she had indeed experienced the end of the world, which is where they now find themselves. And Rimuru could only think about how dire the situation had become. He wasn't even sure what happened to Ivaraj, but most likely he had acted according to Feldway's orders to destroy the world. At this point, Ciel confessed that she had been defeated. She was caught by surprise, not expecting Feldway to pull something like this, which left Rimuru surprised. After all, Ciel had been deceived. Rimuru didn't expect Ciel to fall for the same trick Feldway had previously used on Valgrind, and had placed great trust in her. Hearing her admit defeat was astonishing for him, and this led to a brief argument between them, because Ciel didn't mean to admit defeat. She simply said she had been deceived. For her, it was a draw. However, Rimuru insisted that if she was deceived, then she lost. And shortly after, Ciel asked what Rimuru planned to do from this point forward. He had already accumulated a lot of energy from the collapse, something Valdanava lost long ago when he created the world. And because Rimuru possessed his imaginary space, filled with that energy, he could recreate the world tens of thousands of times over. Ciel explained that it would be possible to reconstruct the memories of all people who had been involved with Rimuru and recreate the central world as close to its original form as possible. They could recreate the world right there, and Rimuru understood what this meant. There wasn't much they could do. This was the end of the world. All the people he had loved, like Benimaru, Shuna, Shion, Tempest, Diablo, the demons, Gi, Milim, Ramirez, Hinata, everyone was buried. And in that moment, Rimuru truly felt what it meant to be defeated. Ciel tried to deny this, reminding him that he was still alive and could make everything happen again, revive everyone, recreate everything. But for him, it was meaningless. Without his friends to share his sorrows and joys, it was as if the meaning of life itself had been lost. Even though Rimuru could recreate everyone, it was impossible to say that they would still be the same people as before, because now he would be the one who creating them. Even if he could rebuild the world, it would be a hellish existence for him, and he definitely didn't want that. For Rimuru, reality wasn't a game, there was no reset button. Even if, on the surface, recreating everything made sense, in the end, it wouldn't be the same. After all, he would be resurrecting his friends like magic, just to ease his loneliness, and he refused to that. He would later live in solitude until the end. And upon hearing Rimuru's response, Ciel seemed unusually happy. It was the same reaction Ciel usually had when playing pranks on Rimuru, and recalling that, Ciel told him that he wasn't defeated yet. They could still go back in time and defeat Feldway. Rimuru thought this was impossible. Not even people like Chloe and Mei, who had abilities allowing them to leap through the time or space, could travel back to the past from the end of the time and space, because here doesn't have time and space. But Ciel explained that she had developed a space-time leap to handle this exactly situation. Basically, by combining the time distortion and space distortion, she could allow any type of movement. This disrupts and defies the laws of physics, essentially making it the ultimate mobility ability, and Ciel had been able to create it after absorbing Michael, and with him she had also absorbed the abilities of Mai Furuki, which allowed her to instantly move through the space. And naturally, hearing this, Rimuru got mad at Ciel for not telling him earlier, but she insisted that she had told him. He was just too distracted talking to other people and didn't pay attention to her, and this sparked one of their classic arguments, with Rimuru accusing her of doing it on purpose and Ciel denying it. But in the end of the day, Rimuru would admit that it was all his fault. The important thing though was that he now had a way to get out of there, escape from the end of space-time. Ciel was quite proud of this. He suggested Rimuru take some time to reflect on this situation. After all, they were on a battlefield, fighting against Feltway, trying to free Milim from his control. It was best to think ahead and plan carefully, and during this moment, Rimuru also heard Ciel's account of what she had been up all this time. For instance, she explained how she had analyzed the ability of Feldway, making Rimuru even wonder if she had let this happen on purpose, similar to what Raphael used to do. But no, she was merely taking advantage of the situation they found themselves, to improve everything she could do. After all, Ciel is the GOAT. And here, Ciel was brimming with excitement, as she spoke and explained things to Rimuru, unable to hide her joy. And this wasn't surprising, after all, she had spent billions of years alone, enduring an eternity of solitude until Rimuru finally woke up. And with the review of the past situation complete, it was time to go back in time. Rimuru had a debt to settle, and he needed to repay it. He hated losing, and he didn't want to lose ever again. He had to free Milim and defeat Feldway quickly, and so they used space-time jump for the first time, traveling through a path made of temporal and spatial distortions, beginning their journey back to the past. At this moment, Ciel had absolute confidence in Rimuru, and he decided that he wouldn't betray that trust. Even if he failed again, he would not be defeated. It was time to break the cycle and return to where everyone was waiting for him. And that's how Rimuru and Ciel returned from the end of the space-time, from the end of the world, to save everyone. And if you want more, drop a comment and let me know that you enjoy it. And while you are at it, check out this video right here. I know you love it because it is absolutely insane. Now I'm out.